So inshallah, we continue on بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. We're still in the ayah number 45 inshallah. ويوم يحشرهم كأن لم يلبثوا إلا ساعة من النهار except the day يتعارفون بينهم. They're actually talking to each other. You know, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described this in many other ayahs, Surah Taha and some other, how, you know, they look at each other and say, how much did you stay? You know, how much was it? How long was it? How much time? They look at each other and says, you know, maybe we stayed 1 hour, maybe 10, maybe few. And the ones who are most knowledgeable, they only stay a little bit of time, because don't think ever that the accountability would take a long time for it to happen. It's going to be so quick and so fast. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ خَسِرَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِلِقَاءِ اللَّهِ. The ones who denied that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the meeting, the day of accountability, they're the losers. وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. And they were not guided with their decision. They were not guided with what they thought is going to happen. They completely missed out. They completely missed out the boat. And now, what happened to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? And this is the ayah number 46. You get to see what's going to happen to them within your lifetime, or this is something is gonna take longer, or what's gonna happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِمَّا نُرِيَنَّكَ بَعْضَ الَّذِي نَعِدُهُمْ أَوْ نَتَوَفَّيَنَّكَ فَإِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ ثُمَّ اللَّهُ شَهِيدٌ عَلَى مَا يَفْعَلُ. Now, there's two options Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's addressing him. He's talking to him directly. And subhanAllah, again, every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam directly, or he says something to him, is technically speaking to all the believers. So this is a speech to all of us. وَإِمَّا نُرِيَنَّكَ بَعْضَ الَّذِي نَعِدُهُمْ. Or either we will show you some of what we are promising them. So the demise and death of some or the punishment of some will happen in the days of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You will see of what we are promising them. It's going to happen to them. Or نَتَوَفَّيَنَّكَ, or we will make tawaffi to you, and then you will die, make tawfiyah to you. As in other words, we describe the word wafat. Wafat means, even though it's described as to put to death or somebody to die, but actually the meaning comes in from to pay back, or to seal his book, or to pay him fully rewarded from wafa. Wa Ibrahim alladhi wafa. Ibrahim is the one who paid back in full. If I borrow some money, dain, from somebody, and I say I paid back, I say wafaytu dain, wafayt, I paid back, wafa, I mean the tawfiyah. So tawfiyah here is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes tawfiyah to somebody, is another word for somebody to die and his book is sealed and he's paid in full for all his deeds, all of them. That's called tawfiyah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِمَّا, either we will show you some of the stuff, some of the things that we are promising them. Or نَتَوَفَّيَنَّكَ, or you're gonna die and then you're gonna pass, where you will be paid in full for what you've done, all your deeds. فَإِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ, to us, they're coming back. ثُمَّ, and then, Allahu shahidun ala ma yaf'alun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness upon what they do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here in this ayah is describing the two fates of the ones who denied the day of judgment, the meeting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, the evildoers, the mischievers, the bad, the bad persons here on the face of this earth who did not believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, did not believe in the message, no. And you could see this clearly. In the days of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has witnessed the fate of Abu Jahl. He has witnessed the fate of Abu Lahab. He witnessed, the fate of Utbah ibn Rabi'a, Shayba ibn Rabi'a, all these, Sanadid, all these bad evildoers. Either some of them, they actually died in the Battle of Badr. Some of them, like Abu Lahab, died in his own home, after a few months. And he thought he's going to be saving himself by him not going to war against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Battle of Badr. He ended up dying at home, and in a very bad contagious disease that his own family, his own sons would not even touch him. They actually they picked him up and they threw him off a cliff without even proper burial. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given a chance for him to see some of those promises, some of the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was going to happen to them. How about the rest of them? How about the rest of those? Like, for instance, Hiraqal. How about, so many different evildoers, bad doers all over the place that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not get to see the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being implemented on them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those, ilayna marji'uhum, their return will be back to us. Thumma, and thumma, remember thumma. Thumma is and, but after a while, it has tarahi, it has a period of time. If you say wa is quick, thumma, it's after a while, after a short period of time or some time after, thumma. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shaheed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness upon what they are doing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٍ, and for every ummah, for every nation, they have a messenger. فَإِذَا جَاءَ رَسُولُهُم, and when their messenger comes to them or came to them, قُضِيَ بَيْنَهُم بِالْقِسْطِ, is they've been judged, they're judged amongst them with the qist. Qist is fairness, justice, equality. Qist, with the right way, the correct way, the good way. وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ, and this is kind of emphasis. They're judged amongst them, they're being judged amongst them with qist, and they are never being transgressed upon. This is the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this is the hadith here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yafsilu baynahum yawm al-qiyamah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, judges amongst the people of what they have done here. Just who is a good doer and bad doer, and on in the day of judgment. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the hadith, he says, نحن الآخرون السابقون يوم القيامة المقضي لهم قبل الخلائق فأمته إنما حازت قصب السبق بشرفه. So the Muslim Ummah, they are the first one to be presented in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those, inshallah, the good doers, who will be entering the Jannah with no questioning, with no accountability, will be entering there, will be ushered in as, in the companionship of, the prophets and the messengers and the good doers over the Salihin, awliya, shuhada, and all these good doers, inshallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, نحن الآخرون السابقون. We are the last ones, but we are the ones sabiqun. We are ahead of everybody else. Al-maqdiyu lahum, the ones who is being judged amongst them before the rest of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is an honor for the Muslim Ummah, an honor for the followers of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the seal of all the prophets, the honorable, the ones who has this lead amongst all the messengers, and he is the seal of all the messengers. Some of them are challenged. Now, the first group, the ones who denied the existence of accountability and the day of judgment. But there's another group who sit there and they would ask, either in a challenging way or because of their nature of procrastination, and they say, وَيَقُولُونَ, and they say, مَتَى هَذَا الْوَعْدُ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ, and they say, when is this promise going to happen if you are really from the truthful ones, if you really tell them the truth? Which promise is this? The promise of accountability, the promise of punishment, the promise of the end, how is it going to be? When is that wa'd? When is that promise it's going to happen? Some of them actually, as subhanallah, they're waiting for They say, you know what, let me do bad for right now, kind of like the student who procrastinates, kind of wait, and say, you know what, 2 weeks before the test, before the final exam, I can go ahead and I can straighten my act, I can do well. Some of the high school students, they say, you know what, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, it's not a big deal. What really counts is the 12th grade. I'm going to really do good. And then we'd ask, what am I going to, he's asking about that year because he's going to be doing bad throughout this year. Or some of them actually in a challenging way says, really? We're going to have accountability. We're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's going to judge us. When is this going to happen, by the way? Oh, yeah, really? This is kind of in a challenging way. When is this going to happen? Qul, say. And how many times you have qul so far? Many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for him to say. قل لا أملك لنفسي ضرا ولا نفعا إلا ما شاء الله لكل أمة أجل إذا جاء أجلهم فلا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for him to say, I don't own for myself ضرا ولا نفعا. I don't own for myself ضر, harm, ولا نفعا, or benefit. I don't have that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not bestow that upon me, except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to give me. Look at the humbleness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Look what he's been ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him to say. As you notice, this is kind of the theme of the surah, is when the Prophet or the Messenger, and specifically Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this case, and all the da'iyah, all the ones who make da'wah, ask people to enter the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muslims who's going out there spreading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's an order, it's a theme that, an order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring themselves down to speak at the same level as the bad doers. You notice, it says, for instance, the ayah number 41, if they denied you, if they rejected you, what do you say? I have my work and you have your work. Don't say, oh, I am way better than you, I have better deeds than you, I have better actions than you, I'm going to go to Jannah. Or some of the people of faith, subhanAllah, they say, I am saved, I believe in so and so, and that's it, and I'm done, and I'm saved from all this. That's not the way. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was ordered for him to say, I have my work and you have your work. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to say in the ayah number 48 or number 49, قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسِي ضَرًّا وَلَا نَفْعًا. I am in the same boat. When somebody speaks to somebody else, not from the higher up position, but the same position, say, I'm in the same boat like you. I don't own anything for myself. I'm not, more special than you or less special than you. I am the same thing. I am the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am being ordered to do specific things. I am delivering it to you because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered me to do. Whatever I know, my knowledge comes in only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm just, telling you what it is exactly, what's coming through. And I don't own anything good or bad for myself, except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to inform me and to tell me about. But here, إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهِ لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ أَجَلٌ. Either for every ummah, for every nation, there is an ajal, there is a written, specified time. Ajal. إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ. If their ajal, if their time has come, فَلَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. They're not able to delay, or they're not able to bring it forward. They cannot push it backwards or forwards. They cannot change it. If that time comes, it comes. And this is the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You notice that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs people, or informed at any time of their ajal, of their time. Let's say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when somebody's born, he knows he's going to die when he's 60 years old. What do you think he's going to do? That is an automatic procrastination. Automatic, you know what, I'm 20, I can do whatever, Or let's say that, it's going to be, the end of time, the apocalypse, the day of judgment, it's going to happen at the year, let's say 2062, like what we've seen it before. the 2012, remember we had that thing, when we had the calendar thing, everybody's going crazy, or the apocalypse, or the big thing about the 2000, what's going to happen, and things will go into disaster and on and on. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed us with this time, that will wreak havoc amongst people's minds, will wreak nothing but problems amongst them. The wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to hide these facts from them, from mankind, for them to be always cautious, to be always on guard, to do their best every hour and every minute and every second of their lives, because they don't know when is going to happen. But the important thing is for them to know it's going to happen. Well, obviously, death is imminent. Everybody's going to die. Accountability is something that everybody has to believe in. And if there is accountability, it's an automatic deduction that if you do good, you're going to be successful on the face of this earth and the life after. And if you do bad, you're going to be living miserable life here on the face of this earth. You're going to live a very miserable life and painful life with punishment in the life after. And whoever is going to judge you has to be a fair judge. He has to be the one who created. He has to be the one who knows all about you, knows about you more than what you know about yourself. And he has to be fair, and he has to be just, and he has to be not needy of you or all your deeds and all your actions and all whatever ibadah to do all that. And then also he has to be rich and able to provide all the promises that he's providing, and he is promising for all his mankind creation and all his creation overall, not only mankind, and on and on and on like that. So it's all of it has this connectivity with the day of judgment, connectivity with the fact that what is the essence of our existence overall. When that time comes, there's no way for us to bring it forward. There's no way to bring it 1 hour forward or push it 1 hour back. قل أرأيتم إن أتاكم عذابه بياتا أو نهارا ماذا يستعجل منه المجرمون. Say to them, say, أرأيتم, have you seen, or what is your opinion? It could be understood both ways. أرأيتم من الرؤية. I say, ما رأيك, what's your opinion? Or you say, أرأيت, رأيت, what do you see? Or what do you think? And you notice that the connection between in both in the Arabic language. قل أرأيتم, what's your opinion? Or what's your thought? What do you see? What do you think? إن أتاكم عذابه بياتا أو نهارا. If the torture of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has come to you, bayatan, when you are in the state of bayat, you're in the state of, you're at home, you're resting, in the state of relaxation, or naharan, or daytime. In other words, nighttime or daytime. ماذا يستعجل منه المجرمون. What are you rushing it for? They are there. You notice that good doers, the believers, they're not asking what is the day of judgment. Who's asking? The evil doers, the bad doers. And you'd ask them, it's like, wait a minute, if you're being promised that something evil, something bad is going to happen, it's going to be torture, it's going to be hellfire, it's going to be, the most horrible place that you could possibly end up in. Why are you rushing it for? What's in it for you? ماذا يستعجل منهم مجرمون. And mujrim is the one who is a transgressor, is a criminal, the closest word that we can translate it into. But the word jaram is the mujrim, is the one who, the butcher who runs the knife deep into the bone when he's cutting the meat. That is called jarama or ajarama. So basically he's running his knife, or he's taken something, it's not really his, it's completely in the wrong place. The butcher should be running the knife, but where? Into the meat only. But when he runs it into the bone, he got it in the wrong place. That's mujrim. Kind of like what we say is that earning money is good. By what? By working for it, earning a degree for you to earn it, by you working hard for you to get the money. But when you cross that line, you run it in the wrong place for you to go to a liquor store, to a bank and rob people, or rob people on gunpoint for you to get it, you become mujrim, you become a criminal. Earning money is not the issue here, is that how you earn it or what you do. Cutting the meat is not the problem, it's but where you run your knife is the problem, is the issue. That is mujrim. وَمَاذَا يَسْتَعْجِلُ مِنْهُمْ مُجْرِمُونَ. The criminals, why are they rushing? Kind of like somebody would say, somebody committed a crime, robbed a bank, or or killed somebody. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. And then he's rushing to say, well, how much time does it take for me between, committing the crime and for me to get punished? What are you rushing the punishment for? The punishment is coming. أثم إذا ما وقع آمنتم به الآن وقد كنتم به تستعجلون. It says, and then when say إذا, when it happens, it's a حين it happens, when it happens, that adab, that torture, that punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happens, then you believe in it. آمنتم به. That is the time when you're going to believe in it, when you see it with your own eyes. How many, apprenticed electricians, their boss, their journeyman boss looks at them and says, do not touch that wire. There's, it has power in it. You're going to get electrocuted. The guy goes, nah, come on. I'm looking at it. This is as safe as the rest of everything else. What's a big deal? What's a big deal? No, come on. What's going to happen? The minute he touches, he says, oh, now I believe. Now I got shocked. Now I'm electrocuted. This is subhanAllah. When it happens, you actually are, you believe in it. But subhanAllah, notice that electrician, only the fool one, he would say, he's looking at his boss and say, yeah, when am I going to get electrocuted? When am I going to get shocked? I can't wait until this happens. I can't, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? What are you rushing it for? What are you rushing for you to get shocked and electrocuted for? Why is these criminals are rushing for them to be punished, to meet the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When? Why? It says, أثم إذا ما وقع آمنتم به الآن وقد كنتم به تستعجلون. Now you believe in it and you were rushing it and you were saying, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? تستعجلون. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, then ثم قيل للذين ظلموا, and then will be said to the ones who transgressed, the ones who committed the dhulm, ذوقوا عذاب الخلد, taste the torture of eternity, من الخلود. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هل تجزون إلا بما كنتم تكسبون. Are you being rewarded or are you being punished except of the things that you earned or the things you are earning? Hold it. Hold all these bad deeds. Be accountable for it. All these bad deeds that you've committed. You will be held accountable for every single bad deed. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. And mithqal, the weight of the weightless thing, dharra, is weightless. And yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, anybody who does that much of as much of work as the weight of the weightless something that defies gravity, he will be punished for it, or he does good deed, he will be rewarded for it. These people here say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ قِيلَ, and then qila. You notice that qila is past tense. It's been said. And then it's been said to the ones who follow me. ذُوقُوا. ذُوقُوا is taste. SubhanAllah, you notice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he talks about punishment, he uses the word out of the five senses, he uses the word taste. It's the most accurate of all. You could see things but fall short. You can smell things, but you really don't know exactly what they look like, but you can smell them. You can smell maybe a skunk, but you have sometimes, like, some people say, what, I've been smelling skunks in my neighborhood forever, but I don't even know what a skunk looks like. So his knowledge is short because he smells the effect of the skunk, but he doesn't know what the skunk actually looks like. Sometimes you see something from a distance. You'll be passing by like a supermarket or something. You see a fruit that you've never seen before. You look at it, but you have no idea what it tastes like. How about you hear it? You hear something with your senses. You have no idea what it looks like. You have no idea what it smells like. Sometimes you put your hand on it. When you put your hand on it, you feel it. You feel maybe sometimes the warmth, the roughness. You feel the coldness of it. But that is short. The most accurate of all of all the five senses is dhawq. Is that for you? To put something in your mouth. You know exactly what temperature as it is. You know exactly if it's going to hurt you, it's going to harm you, or it's going to be delicious, it's going to be tasty to you. You know in with precision what kind of things are put in it. You know, when you taste a good biryani out there, you know how much cumin it has, how much good garlic it has, how much good onion it has. You know, and you just go there, this is the best I've seen. This, oh, it's so good because it has this extra. Can you imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually using the word dhawq on the torture itself? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be telling these people, ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْخُلْدِ. We talked about adab al-khuld. Adab is described in many different words. Adabun alim, adabun muqim, adab al-khuld, that's one of them, is the eternal one. And adabun azim, big, huge. Alim is painful. Adabun muheen. Muheen is the one that is actually shameful and disgraceful also. Not just painful, but put people through shame and disgrace. This one here, khuld, is eternal. It's going to be there. It's not going to ever get removed from them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, how did this happen? And are you being punished, or are you been given making jaza to, except with the things you were earning or you earned before? بما كنتم تكسبون, and the things you were earning before. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open our hearts and our minds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us away, inshallah, from the bad and evil deeds, and give us, inshallah, the good deeds in our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, make us from the ones who are successful here on the face of